I'd like to welcome everyone this evening to our spring concert and awards assembly. I'm John Davis, principal of Wilson Middle School, and I'm going to be the narrator for tonight's beginning band presentation. Band members have worked hard and they made a commitment to excellence, and as a result have begun a journey towards becoming musicians who will enjoy a lifetime of music making. Tonight's beginning band will be performing a demonstration concert. While tonight's concert will feature some great music, the band members, like athletes, should first start with a warm-up. One warm-up that they have been learning about is scales. The first three scales they learn to play will now perform are the B flat, E flat, and A flat concert scales. The next selection uses what are called accidentals. These are notes in the song that are not in the main scale notes of the piece. They are sometimes tricky and can take a lot of practice to perfect. In this song, they help introduce the students to the blues style of music. Please enjoy Accidental Blues. One concept the band has been working on since the winter break has been various rhythms. They have been learning you missed me up on that. Yes. Syncopation, or playing on the weak beats. The next piece uses this rhythm pattern as well as teaching the students how to play on the off beats. It's been one of the students' favorite songs to work on. Rock on, rock off. This next selection is the band's first actual sheet music. It uses many of the concepts of how to bring all the different sections of the band together into one cohesive song. You will hear our trumpets featured in this piece that reminds us of kings, queens, and castles. Please enjoy Court of the Noble Trumpeters. last song is a Wilson Band tradition. The band always ends their portion of the concert with "Let's Go Band." Certainly, we hope that you've enjoyed the beginning band portion of tonight's concert. The students will now get ready for the next ensemble on the program, the 7th and 8th grade band.
Good evening, everybody. Obviously, you saw in your program that was a piece called Heroes Triumphant, and we did kind of a cool thing in class as we were beginning to learn this and kind of got into it and learned it some more. I had them flip their music over. I had them write who their heroes in their life are. And I wanted that to be on their music so they could be reminded of that as they play this and realize that music is more than just notes and rhythms on a page. And ever since then, I think they've really brought that to life in the last, I'd say, week or so. It's really come together. So that's exciting. Next, we're going to play a piece called Scorpion by Richard Saucedo. piece, we wanted to kind of do something different. So I kind of picked something that told a historical story. Obviously, by the program, you all know the story of Gettysburg. You'll hear in the beginning is to depict the soldiers still way off in the distance. The battle hasn't started yet. But as the piece goes on, the armies are getting closer to one another. You'll hear the battle scene in the middle as the Battle of Gettysburg really gets going. Gettysburg by Brian Bowditch. I just told Maddie Knight, and now the fun part, they get stuff. All right, I need a drink of water. So this is always my favorite performance of the year because of this part. Because of the awards, and we get to recognize all the hard work and time and effort that the students have put in class, practicing at home, all the extra hours and the homework that they do, and finding time to practice and learn this great music, and just develop more and more and more all the way through the year. And we get to have this time to celebrate that and to recognize that. So this is always my favorite time. We're going to start with a couple of thank yous, and then we'll get into the awards. We definitely couldn't have the successful arts programs, orchestra, choir, band, all the other activities we have here at Wilson without great administrators with us supporting us, getting anything we need. So I definitely want to start off by publicly thanking John Davis and Kyle Walters, Jen Trothers, the main secretary at the office, and all the office staff for all that they do, Doug Youth, the superintendent of New York City Schools, and really all the support that they give us. So if we could recognize the great administration we have here in Newark, and especially here at Wilson Middle School. A couple of special thank yous to three people who are here. They're kind of hiding over on the side in the corner. Mr. Lee Auer, the band director at the high school. Jenny Bricker is the middle school band director at Heritage, and especially Diana Whiteman, the band director at Liberty Middle School. Miss Whiteman really stepped in and volunteered to help cover the rehearsals yesterday and today, and so that we could have the concert tonight and make sure we're as prepared as possible on hardly any notice. And I couldn't thank her enough, so we give her a very special round of applause for all the work she did with the students this week. Chrissy Clark, where are you? Is she here? Can you stand up for a second? Chrissy Clark, on Friday, we go to the elementary schools, and we go to Cherry Valley, and we go to Mount Guffey, the 7th and 8th graders, and we kind of do our elementary music tour. Play, the choir sing, orchestra plays for the 4th and 5th graders, so they can see what they can do in middle school if they want to be part of the fine arts and music program. And I was able to be there, and I was scrambling to set up what they want to do for lunch. They've been begging me for months to get them Raising Cane's for this lunch because they knew it was coming. So I went ahead and I got it all set up. And Mrs. Clark volunteered to go to Raising Cane's. She picked up all the food. She took it to the park, made sure the kids got their lunch, made sure everything went smoothly. And I couldn't thank you enough for that. And I wanted to share my appreciation. Mrs. Woods and Mrs. Heckman-Kirk, where are you at? There's Mrs. Woods. There she is. They came early today, 6 o'clock, to help monitor the 2 warm-up rooms. Sometimes, I'm going in between rooms back and forth, and it's kind of like herding cats sometimes. And they did a great job, and thank you guys for volunteering to do that. One of the first things we're going to start with are certificates that we give to each student. And there were 3 parents that stepped up and helped volunteer to get these done for me when I knew I wasn't going to have time to get them done. So, Mrs. Loafman, Mrs. Sands, and I'm sorry if I asked Genoa, but I'll try and pronounce this right. Mrs. DePauli, are you 3 here tonight? If you could stand, please. And let's give them a round of applause for helping get this certificate. Thank you so much. We couldn't do all the fun things we do outside of the school day without your help. And we went to the Ohio State Marching Band concert, the youth concert earlier this year. Our big trip, our big music festival is coming up on Friday, Cedar Point. Yes, they have to be here at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm telling the kids, wrap your mind around it, because I'm going to be here even earlier than that. And I'm old, so if I can do it, you can do it. So if you help chaperone the Ohio State trip, or you are signed up to help chaperone Friday's trip, can you please stand and be recognized? That's a big job, and we definitely couldn't do trips without you guys. Thank you so much. All right. I knew this time was coming. I'm going to be a blubbering mess, but I'm going to get through it anyway, because it's important. So I lost my mom on Mother's Day. But I was not going to miss this concert because she wouldn't want me to. And if you've been to my concerts before, I always thank and recognize Mom and Dad because they have, for 30 years, come to my concerts and sporting events and college events and everything. I mean, I'm 42 years old and they're still sitting there in the front row at my concerts. And I always wanted to make a special recognition of them. So they know how proud I am of them. And for them to know that I know they're proud of me. And how important it is for me that they come to those events. And I know how much they support me and how proud of me they are. And they enjoy coming to these concerts and they enjoy coming to hear all you guys play. She almost made it to this one, almost made it. And I talked to my dad before we started getting set up, and he was crying because he wanted to be here, but he knew he couldn't be. They always sat right in the front and the middle. And I want to say this because it's important. As I've been thinking the last week, I know it's hard as a 12 or 13 or 14-year-old to not always tell your mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, aunts and uncles, whoever you're with most of the time, to tell them thank you for being here tonight, for coming to all your concerts, for coming to all your sporting events. I know sometimes that doesn't always occur to us to do that. But I want you to take time to do that every once in a while. The reason I knew how she felt about me and the reason she knew how I felt about her is because we told each other that all the time. All the time. And nothing is more important than that. So I want you to do that tonight when you leave. And I want you to do that every once in a while. Forever. So that they know how you feel about them. And you know how you feel about them. And you always tell each other that. Because we always did. So I know that in my heart how she felt. And she knows how I felt. And that's important to remember that. Because as teenagers sometimes we don't always. And I want you to keep that in mind. Alright? And I know she's here. And I know she just heard you guys put on a great concert. And I know she'll always be at my concerts. And I know Dad will be with me at my future ones. And it's important that we recognize that. And you recognize your family. And I want you to remember that always. Alright? Okay, enough blabbering now. Okay. Now to the fun stuff. Okay, so we're going to start by giving certificates to each student. We'll start with our beginning band members. And you guys will just come up, make a row along the front. Mr. Davis will give you your certificate. Just wait till all the names are called. Then we'll make one big round of applause for our beginning band members. All right? All right. Jack Bird. Michaela Cook. Aiden Dungeon Daly. And if anyone has a Kleenex, I wouldn't mind a couple right now. Grant Vidler. Turin Hatfield. Miles Maselli. Mom always did too. Moms always have everything in their purse, it doesn't matter. I'll turn this off so you don't have to hear me blow and like staring. Angel Parrish, Maddie Redmond, Marissa Sparks, Lucy Staley, Zach Wagner, Jakai Walters, Caitlin Walters, Kyler Woods, Michaela Adams, Taylor Ball,
Yeah.
Jaden Collier, Chase Edwards, Aaliyah Horton, Gabby Leach, Emily Loafman, Cherie Morris, Jocelyn Paul, August Sessler, Daytona Shaw, Ainsley Spurgeon, Colin Watson. Let's have a big round of applause for our first year beginning graduates.
One more round of applause.
All right, you guys go have a seat. All right. Now we'll move on to our 7th graders. Ace and Anarino, Logan Butler, Carly Clark, Cameron Croston, Philip Dillo, Kyle Driscoll, Lily Gully, Aiden Heckman Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Carla Kimmery, Brianna Kerr, Asa Mayo, Cameron Oakleaf, Ashton Pearson, Xander Puma, Julie Purrier, Abby Saling, Michael Schilling, Logan Scott, Janelle Toller, Mahala Wells, and a big round of applause for our 7th grade band. Congratulations, you guys. All right, and they're a small but mighty group. Our 8th graders have been really strong leaders this year. And really setting the foundation. We put our 7th and 8th graders together for our rehearsals and performances. So our final band members here at their final year at Wilson Middle School, they get the certificate and then they get a band pen that they can always have. Christy Agnew, Bailey Call, Nate Holm, Ronnie Helser, Rebecca Justice, Maddie Knighton, Eli McNamara, Micah Metzler, Alex Morehouse, RJ Sands, Paige Stewart, and I would love if we could have a big standing ovation for our Wilson Middle School Band 8th graders. All right. One of the special events that we do each year, and because of some scheduling differences that we had this year, with just the 8th graders perform, but we do solo and ensemble, and They can opt to do a solo, so it's them with piano accompaniment, or small ensembles, trios, quartets, that kind of thing. They do most of the preparation on their own, at school and at home. And then we go to Liberty Middle School in March. They perform for a judge and get evaluated and get a rating. And it's an important part of our musical growth and just them learning how to perform by themselves or in a small group in front of people. And it accomplishes so many things. We want to make sure we recognize those students for solo and ensemble. Now, we're going to start with the excellent ratings. 4 of us won't get a ribbon today because they didn't come in on time, so I'll make sure that we get those to you. But we do have a few, but we're going to recognize everybody. Those people who got an excellent rating in their ensembles were Alex Morehouse, Nate Holm, Christy Agnew, Rebecca Justice, and excellent ratings on our solos were Alex Morehouse, Paige Stewart, Rebecca Justice, and Christy Agnew. So let's give a big round of applause to our celebrants and their excellent ratings. One more big round of applause for them, please. You guys can have a seat. And our superior ratings, which is the top rating for solo and ensemble, we had 4 soloists go and earn that superior rating. Alex Morehouse, Paige Stewart, Rebecca Justice, and Christy Agnew. Congratulations on your superior rating. And one more round of applause for them. One thing that you guys can have a seat. Unless you just want to stand up there the whole time, I guess. One thing that we love to do is have our students perform in outside ensembles, outside of the district. And there are 2 main ones that we send students to various honor bands. One of them is called the District 10 Honor Band. It's our region of the state. Miss Whiteman actually has a pivotal role in putting that event together. They go and have one rehearsal on a Tuesday evening and then rehearse all day on a Saturday and perform a concert that afternoon. I don't even know how many schools are in that. Do you know off the top of your head? So 35 different students from 35 different schools come together for a very short rehearsal time and put on that honor band concert for District 10. So we'd like to recognize we had 2 students perform in that District 10 Middle School Honor Band, RJ Sands and Lily Gully. Come up and And one more congratulations for them. And a handful of years ago, The Ohio State University started having a middle school honor band. They'd had a high school honor band for years and years. And there are about 400 students across the state of Ohio who participate in 4 different bands. There are 2 7th grade bands and 2 8th grade bands. And they go one day. They put a whole concert together in one day from rehearsal all the way to the afternoon. So it's if they've never been to Columbus or never been to Ohio State, it's quite an experience for them, and they learn a lot. We had 4 students participate this year in the OSU Honor Band. So come on up, RJ Sands, Ashton Pearson, Carly Clark, and Lily Gully. And one more congratulations for the OSU Honor Band students. Something that started recently, Miss Bricker over at Heritage put together a middle school jazz band for any middle school student who wanted to join. And we had 3 students who are consistently going to rehearsals and learning to play different styles of music with Miss Bricker over at Heritage. So we have a little medallion for them for their participation in an outside group. For the middle school jazz band is RJ Sands, Rebecca Justice, and Christy Agnew. And one more big round of applause for our jazz band. You guys can have a seat. All right, we have some special trophies to recognize students who really go above and beyond and made a big impression this year. Our first category is our most improved. We have 4 classes here at Band at Wilson, a beginning woodwind class, a beginning brass and percussion class, a 7th grade class, and an 8th grade class. So we have a most improved for each of those. This is one of those instruments that's tricky to get started on. I always tell them it's kind of like riding a bike. It's tricky to start, then once you kind of get the hang of it, then you're good to go. And in the last 6 months especially, this young lady has really taken off on her instrument and doing a really nice job. In our woodwind beginning band class for most improved is Emily Loafman. One more congratulations for Emily. And in our brass and percussion class, so I don't know what happened. I like to take credit for it, but I don't know what happened, but something just clicked in this young lady's brain, and just I started to see her just instantly start to get music faster and perfect it faster. You know, I don't know if she started practicing more at home or what it was. You know, but here by the end of the year, just rock solid on some really important parts, and that was great to see. So this year's brass percussion most improved is Marissa Sparks. And if you know Marissa, yes, that is her excited face. That's about as excited as Marissa gets. Our 7th grade, this was tough. There are so many talented 7th grade players. And I'm so excited for Cedar Point coming up. They were telling me today what a great rehearsal they had this morning. Miss Whiteman said what a great rehearsal they had this morning. Especially with Heroes Triumphant, we've been really pushing that one hard. And coming over here, I was nervous because I'd never gone to a concert not knowing what I was going to get. I mean, I haven't seen them for days, so to have 7th graders really step up and just be so rock solid and just be there. I know this young lady is going to be there. She works super hard. I know she's going to know her part. She's a leader on her instrument, and I'm excited to give most improved for 7th grade to Abby Saling. Congratulations, Abby. Hopefully everything's okay with this young man. He's not here tonight, so I'm not sure. I haven't heard from him. I haven't checked my email for a while, so there might be something there. But I still want to recognize our most improved 8th grade trumpet player, Ronnie Helser. Really stepped up and made big strides, and so we'll make sure he gets his trophy when he gets back to school. Next category is the exemplary musician out of each class, and this is someone who really goes above and beyond musically. They might take private lessons. They show really good leadership skills in each class. Someone I can turn to kind of help other students if they need help. and just shows all those qualities of someone who I know is going to stick with it and just get better and better each year. So we have that category for each class. So for our beginning class in woodwinds, one of the more difficult, tricky instruments to start on, truly. And she's been taking lessons and never gets discouraged and has worked really hard on a tricky instrument for sure. And I've hardly had to worry about her at all this year with her music. She comes in knowing it, really prepared every day for class. So we'd like to recognize Daytona Shaw. Congratulations, Daytona. For our beginning brass and percussion class, I mean, seriously, coming in day one, hitting the ground running. I don't know if I've said much to her throughout the year as far as giving suggestions and things, because I know she's going to know her music. I know she practices at home. I know she comes in well prepared. Is a good, quiet leader, but is absolutely solid in every respect. So for our exemplary in brass percussion is Maddie Redmond. Congratulations, Maddie. Again, our 7th graders, like I mentioned before, so many talented players, so many good hard workers, and show a real passion for music and a real passion for band and want to come in every day and play, and you can tell that in their playing. Especially this young lady, she comes from such a wonderful family, and so many things I need, I look to her for, and she steps up and volunteers for, and helps out in so many things beyond just music, but is also there 100% musically. And we couldn't have the band sound that we have without her. So our 7th grade exemplary musician is Lily Gully. Congratulations, Lily. Our 8th grade recipient is someone who has so much natural talent, and again is one of the first people. He was here early helping set up. I lean on him in the percussion section for so many things, musically and not. And he's been like that from the beginning of Beginning Band. So it's good to recognize our 8th grade recipient, Alex Morehouse. Congratulations, Alex. All right. And then our last award, our Mac Daddy Award, is the Outstanding Instrumentalist. This goes to an 8th grader every year. So they'll get a trophy. Their name, I wasn't able to do it beforehand, but they'll have their name engraved on a plaque that hangs up in the band room, all the way back to Matt Rife in 2009, 2010. I can't say enough about this student. If I could clone him, I would, both as a musician and just as a person. He's so mature and so prepared and so good-natured and good-hearted. He has a dry but funny sense of humor, and I'm going to miss him very much. So the Outstanding Instrumentalist is R.J. Sands. One more big congratulations for R.J. So we got lucky with the weather. Weather went well. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for staying through the award ceremony. to me, the most important part about tonight is the recognition of the students. So if we could give one more big recognition for all 6th, 7th, and 8th grade Wilson family members who had a great year, and wishing them and all of us good luck at Cedar Point at our music festival coming up on Friday. And everyone have a safe trip home. Thank you for coming tonight.